It is June 9th, 2023. Baker's Dozen. This is the grand finale, the ultimate finale, the conclusion of episode 1 of Standard Issue Tees Behind the Seams featuring Jared J. Lee and myself, Jimmy Garecki.
Season 1.
What did I say?
Episode 1.
Oh my God, I'm off today.
It's the season finale of episode 1.
It's the episode finale of season 1. Yep. So today's guest, well, let me stop for a second. It's still my birthday week.
Yep.
So I'm gonna celebrate into tonight. I think I'm gonna celebrate into Sunday.
Okay.
I'm relax tomorrow. I got a skateboard contest, but I'm gonna keep it going. I don't know about in your household, but we get a week for our birthdays in our household. So
We just get a minute.
that's it, huh?
We just get that happy birthday and let's move on.
It, yeah. But so yeah, I'm gonna keep my birthday week rolling, and this is actually one of the best birthday presents I could ask for. When we started doing this podcast, we didn't really know who would be willing to come on board, who would be down to cruise down to Vernon, because it is like catching a flight to the East Coast, going from West Hollywood, Studio City, down to Vernon. It's a mission. So the people that have joined us, I thank you. And I thank this gentleman equally as much. I've watched him accomplish and do a lot. I've been fortunate to become friends with him over the years. I feel like the more the longer we've been friends, the more and more I get to understand just how amazing a pool of wealth this gentleman is, and so many things that are awesome to me and interest me. So how I got to know this guy, 2004, 2005, I'm sitting at Nick Diamond's house, MySpace era. And Nick goes, "Jimmy, you know this guy? He's a barber. He's friends with Kanye." And I'm like, "No." He's like, "He skateboards."
Oh, yeah, I was looking at my MySpace.
We were looking at your MySpace page.
Nick told me
and the
about this.
first picture we see is a huge melon grab over a trash can.
No,
Nah.
it was off of a kicker.
And I was blown the fuck away.
It was in Australia.
And I'm like,
Yeah, my slideshows was crazy on MySpace.
I was tripping. And because that was my formal introduction to the gentleman that sits upon us today, Mr. Ibn Jasper.
Welcome.
Was MySpace.
What's up, guys?
Welcome,
Thank you so much. I appreciate
What's
it.
up?
Thank you. So obviously mutual connection with skating. We're going to get into skating, but I guess to start, I like to do a little bit of research on everybody that comes and joins us. I like to read the various interviews and whatnot. So I was reading your COVID tour closet.
Oh, yeah.
2017, roughly 2018.
2017?
I think 17. Yeah.
Damn.
And you're talking to a gentleman about the clothing in your closet and why
It was a young lady.
it was a young lady. Or I think maybe you were talking about an individual that used to give cuts to.
Yes.
And then you're talking about why those clothes serve, what purpose they serve in your life at that point. This gentleman, his occupation, you in school.
Not even at that point, just period.
Just period.
Yeah.
But it tripped me out because I was like,
This
man,
is the opposite of what most people do it for.
1000%. So Jared, to backtrack,
Yep.
what Ivan was stating in this interview was everybody in his school, like, the importance of these brands, of these products. And, I guess when we were talking on a previous episode, just how kids can dim other kids' lights if they don't have the products that are up to par with the times.
Mm-hmm.
And Ivan was stating how like he had to have these things in his closet. He wasn't trying to stunt on anybody. He just was trying to be like, I'm just trying to be at par with what's going on in the
Right.
classroom,
Mm-hmm.
And that it just took me back. Like, man, I remember trying to introduce skateboard gear to my repertoire and seeing how that stood with other kids in the classroom and everything. And I was like, wow. I don't know. That was just a sentiment that really, really hit home. So like growing up in Philly, clearly no different than what's going on, where you were growing up in Chicago with the kids
No, it's
around
very,
you.
very similar. Philly and Chicago is very similar, especially with my profession, being a barber. You know,
Mhm.
the barber lifestyle and just what that does to the community. Like the barbershop is a very important part of the community in both Philadelphia and in Chicago. So what it was I from 5th to 8th grade, from when I was like 10 to about 13, I lived in the suburbs when my mom was married, right? So we lived in the suburbs. That's when I picked up skating and skiing and, you know, ATVs, all this snowmobiles, all this type of stuff, right? Because trying to be like my uncle Russell.
That's sick.
Right? So my uncle was like 16 at the time, and he was kind of like, I guess kind of spoiled. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like his dad was the sheriff of Cook County. So they was living pretty good, right?
He was up on all the cool shit though.
Yeah, like he had a waterbed in high school. He had a stereo system with a CD player, and this is like 1985. So like the CD player had just came out. He had the Bruce Springsteen Born in the USA album on CD.
Oh, that's sick.
So that's the first album that ever got released on CD. That album, right? So it's something like I always remember, right? And then in his bedroom, he had a computer room and then like a lounge room. He had like 2 separate rooms inside of his bedroom and stuff. So, and he had like a Apple computer, ColecoVision.
It was player in there. Yeah, it was player.
So it's like I went from all of that. And so like that's when I got into like skating in the 80s. So of course I'm getting into punk rock and metal and all of that stuff, you know, Smiths and Cure and New Wave and all of this stuff, right? And then in 8th grade, which is like 1988, I moved back to the city. So I'm wearing like shoe goo Chuck Taylors with duct tape on them and like spider webs drawn on them. You know what I'm saying?
And that don't sit well in the classroom.
And it's just like, yo, what's up? But I'm in the hood though, so it's like, you know, holy shoes is not uncommon, but it's like, wait a minute, you put holes in your shoes on purpose? You know, it's like one of those type of things, right? And so, but I always knew that I could just like ollie or kickflip or something like that. And then they'd be like, oh my God, did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the only thing they've ever seen on a skateboard is like tic tac and 360. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You do the little thing where you got it on your feet and then you jump up. Jump back onto the grip.
Pancake, Pancake or whatever. So it took like from 8th grade to I'll say about my junior year in high school. But it's also because it's like illegal for me to work because I'm like basically too young.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time I get my first job, like I'll go back to high school junior year. I had also started cutting hair that the year before that. So I'll go back to school junior year, all Girbaud, head to toe, Nikes, Pippins, Air Maxes, and my haircut every day. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like looking at, you know, I got to be around the high school for a couple of years and basically like back in black culture. Because I was living in the suburbs and learning the like MTV, that life, you know what I'm saying? And then when my mom got divorced, we moved back to the hood. So it's like I'm relearning all that stuff, but I'm learning it as a, you know, going through adolescence instead of being a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm 13 now, about to go to high school, about to get a driver's license. You know, that's when you start thinking about all that type of stuff. So, and that's when I took those 2 years and I was just like, oh, okay. Girbaud's.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's Z Cavaricci, there's Slick, Slick's denim.
Damn, Slick jumpers were fire. Yo, my sister used to get me every color of them things.
There's Get Used jeans, there's Major Damage. You know what I'm saying? There's all these different brands, but Girbaud gets the best.
Yeah.
Gets the most props. And then we got and then in Chicago we had the Girbaud boutique in Chicago.
Oh, get out of here.
Right. So after I worked at the zoo, every time I got the check, I was going down there.
Right, the Girbaud.
So when I came back to school, I'm talking about Girbaud head to toe. You know what I'm saying? For the whole week. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm not even doubling anything up.
For you growing up out here, you dressing like a skateboarder was pretty acceptable, was it not?
Yeah, I think
In
so.
Torrance?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there was a lot of skate companies in Torrance too back in the day.
It's very normal. Very normal.
See, I wish I had that. I tried to introduce skate gear, and I'm finding out about skate culture. I'm in 6th, 7th grade. That shit did not. I remember when DC first came out, the very first DC that I wore it, and it had the champion logo. It was a champion logo, and I just remember getting fried. And I said, nah, never again.
Well, that was
back
bootleg.
to Nikes. Yeah, I was like, it went right back to Tommy. It went right back to Nautica. It was not even skate brands, it was like nobody knew what that shit was. So,
Yeah, I mean, skate brands like.
I would try to wear like Edward Sebastian.
Actually, skate brands. All right, so skate brands in my era were real brands.
Yeah.
Like Powell and Stussy. So like those are like real brands. But like after I quit skating, because I quit, I think in like 91, I think. Right? Because like I quit before nollie flips.
Yeah.
I could nollie. I could nollie. Nollie like over spines on ramps and like do all that type of stuff. But like before, like nollie switch flip, nollie flip, I quit before any of that stuff.
And that 90, 91, that's a dark time in skating too.
But that's when the skaters took over.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean is like after that, I wouldn't call skateboard brands real brands. I would just call them skate brands. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a real brand, like a real brand just has a different level, a different standard of excellence, and just like as a company.
Yeah.
Let alone the products and stuff.
I remember how joyous of a feeling it was when like Dub and Alphanumeric and those brands started to come out, because I was like, oh, this is like my Nautica. This is like my Ralph. And I could wear it. And it's funny because kids would still kind of get some jokes off because they just didn't know what it was. But at that point, you're a little bit older and you're like, all right, you're not going to push me around. Like, I know why this shit is so fire.
But Alphanumeric, those brands worked in the same context of like Iniche and
Mecca 1000%
stuff, right?
Yeah,
So because that's another thing I always tell people too, because they're like, man, streetwear is this? I'm like, no, streetwear is I want to look like a skater. That's what streetwear is, right? And they're like, no, like Fat Farm. I'm like, no, that's urban apparel. That's not streetwear.
Yeah.
Mecca, Aniche, Maurice Malone, Fat Farm, Woo Wear, all of that. That's not streetwear. That's urban apparel. I was 22. I was getting money at the barbershop, going shopping. I had all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was not called streetwear. The first brand to call itself streetwear was a skateboard company, Vision Streetwear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Stussy is the first streetwear company. So like streetwear is skateboard centric.
Yeah.
I want to look like a skateboarder. That's what streetwear is. It ain't. I don't want to look like a rapper.
Yeah.
That's urban apparel. That's not streetwear. You know what I'm saying?
Very true. Very true. Yeah. It's fun. I remember being a kid, like I got oddly enough introduced to Stussy at like the surf shop. We go to like the Jersey Shore, and that was the only place at that point, early 90s that was
carried it.
Bad Boy.
Yeah. But I didn't want I didn't want Bad Boy. I didn't want
Life's a Beach.
I didn't want Rusty.
Bad Boy.
Just a Stussy. And I'm for sure I was pronouncing it wrong too as a kid, like Stussy or something. I didn't know.
It was that or Massimo. I think, Where we were. It was always Massimo. I think Massimo was like doing better than Stussy at that time.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Massimo.
Yeah.
Massimo was ill.
You have your lighter on you? It's a Friday. Thank you to everyone.
Man, what is Massimo like? What brand is that like now?
It went to Target, remember?
No, but I'm saying like the place Massimo had then, what brand has like what is?
That's a good question.
It was Massimo and Stussy kind of almost like head to head, no?
But like Massimo was like a little bit more like chic. You know, it was like a little more like
slightly more upscale.
Yeah, but still like you know what? It's kind of like acronym kind of, you know, like you know, not like the aesthetic looks the same, but the like attitude of like how acronym is like like ninja.
Like, you ever see? I once saw an acronym meetup. I'm in Little Tokyo, and I'm like, these guys are all dressed in like weaponry and like they look
I love it.
And I was like, and then I thought these kids were gonna start scaling the walls and stuff, and I was like,
I got a funny story. So I met Errolson, right? This is how I met Errolson. In London with Cuddy. We had Selfridges, right? On the escalators. And I'm like seeing this dude like on the escalator, like behind me, I guess, whatever. And I was just like, man, he looked familiar. And I was like, oh, that's Errolson. And like in between one of the like escalator switches, I just turned around and just put the shook his head real quick.
He was cool.
Yeah. He was super cool. I think I've seen him like a couple of times since then too.
That's sick.
But yeah, I was like, man, that was cool. I just like met Errolson on the escalator.
Hold on, real quick. I gotta. Man, I don't really like the shirt that I'm wearing right now and the shoes I got on. So
all right, cool, man.
Let me make it quick.
You could just leave the shirt there for me, man.
Make a quick adjustment because we couldn't have this episode,
my guy,
without paying some homage to a very special friend of all of us. So I'll start with that.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Before I get here, I might gotta change my shoes.
Man, how many outfit changes you got down there?
I might gotta change the shoes because who else would have made a manhunt bait Louis Vuitton shoe other than the late great Virgil Abloh? Did you know when we first started? So Jared and I first started working on this in 2012, and one of the first people to like step out. It was three people. It was you. It was Virgil, and Diplo.
What you talking about? Gourmet?
No, JSP.
Oh yeah.
And that always like stuck out with me, but yeah, we got to take a second to pay homage to a great friend of ours. So I don't know. This is out of all the items that they made there, this was the one I felt like I really needed to have. So
boy, it's stuff I seen that never came out.
Oh, it is,
fam. So he made like Rector pads.
Get the fuck out of here.
So he made skate pads, right? With the plastic shells, but the plastic shells are covered in Louis embossed lambskin.
Get out of here.
How come that didn't make the cut?
Like it's like he would do stuff like word.
Yeah. When we went to Chicago for ice cream trip in 2005, and Nino said, I got a friend that's gonna pull up to the spot. Kid lives here. I think maybe at that point they were doing the Brilliance. I feel like Nino had told me that like had referenced the Brilliance, and sure enough pulled up in a little beat up Civic, and it was Virgil. And I think at that point, just started working with y'all, and then stays in touch. 2008, go to the Glow in the Dark tour. Remember running into him there, and that was literally like the week that ice cream, like they were like, oh, it's kibosh on this thing. So, but I just remember sitting there with him.
Man, I want to interview you about that.
Man,
interview you about ice cream team.
Yo, well, here's the thing. These episodes, usually we've been doing for about an hour. Today we'll open this up. However much time you got to give us, and however much, whatever you feel like sitting there rapping about, we're going to do it. But I remember sitting in that room in the Staples Center at that point, and it's everybody. It's Jimmy Iovine, Don, everybody, all famous as fuck. And I remember sitting there loathing in my feelings. And this guy Virgil sat there, and he just posted up with me the whole time. And I was like, man, I really didn't feel like I had a friend in the world. It was like ice cream was over. I knew everyone around me was waiting for it to come to a close. You know, and I was like,
it died on the tour?
Damn near on the tour. Yeah, we got the call that the licensing deal was up, and it was that
was the Reebok situation.
The Reebok deal had come to a close, and they were basically like, we have to find a new licensing partner. The skate program as a whole, though, we were a fucking nightmare. So they were like, yo, there's no way we're gonna go and go through this whole thing with y'all all over again. You know, like it served its purpose. But I remember sitting there with Virgil the whole time, and I'm like looking at all these famous ass motherfuckers, and I'm like, this guy's a talented one. I mean, everybody in here is talented, but this guy is talented. You know, and I don't know, that evening always stood out to me. You know, just like in a room full of people that are all so influential and have accomplished so much, and he really just played the wall with me. And then you fast forward, you know, 5-6 years later.
He didn't know how to do that then.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't know how to do like what we know as Virgil, like what we know as his work now. He didn't know how to do that then. You know what I'm saying? Like he learned that. It's talent. Talent is a blessing. But you can squander a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of people with like good genetics and stuff like that, but they like never, you know,
utilize it,
tried the activity or, you know, like they never pushed themselves. They never, you know what I'm saying? They never push themselves, or they never like get into a situation that's going to stretch them or push them to something that they never even thought that they could do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, about like people. It's like different people that's like ostracized or whatever. And they like, whenever they do get like a chance or a spot or whatever, they like act like something.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like this, it's like, yeah, you probably been like ostracized and like in your little corner somewhere where you imagining what people
So probably got all type of girls coming through here and they just smoking blunts in the office and they just,
you know what I'm saying? And then you get the job and then you like, oh wait, like
complete.
Cause you over there in the corner, you like, man, they not doing nothing. Like they dumb. They don't know how to do nothing, right? Because you don't see the work.
Yep.
The actual work that you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Cause the talent gets you, get your resume picked up.
Yep.
Right? It gets you like noticed. You know what I'm saying? But like for me to pay attention for the companies and these bosses and stuff to pay attention, it's like you got to know how to do the job, right? Yep. So like that was like the thing with V. With him getting a Louis thing, it was such a like ill thing because you got to remember this is coming post Supreme Louis collab, you know, so it's always all this stuff is like deliberate and stuff.
2012 when we first started JSP, that 2012 that's Ben Trill time, right?
Yeah,
not because Ben Trill was Pyrex time.
Pyrex,
right?
Time.
When they go Pyrex, then Ben Trill, right?
Yeah,
Pyrex time.
Well, it's stuck at the same time.
Yeah,
because so what Virgil did with that is establish this tier system. Because that's the thing that people don't talk about, that's what he did. How he changed the game is he had 4 tiers at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Tier 1
is canary yellow. So that's like, he called it the gift shop.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's like the gift shop at the museum, right? That's canary yellow. So that stuff's like $30.
Tier 2?
$50. Stuff like that. Tier 2 is Nike. Right?
Yep.
150, 300, like the actual retail price. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Not the what it's going for on the street price.
Tier 3?
You know what I'm saying? Tier 3 is Off-White. And then tier 4 is Louis.
Damn.
Right? So it's operating on all 4 tiers at the same time. So that way because that was one thing about V is he was always in tune with everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he just always could like knew what idea went where.
That was the most glaring thing when he passed, and you've seen how many individuals all over the world that he found time to communicate with and to interact with was like insane. Like for someone who I gotta imagine is one of like, I don't even want to know what his schedule was like, work, family, like to make himself so accessible to so many people. It didn't matter if you were in the trenches or if you were popping, you know, like he had a line of communication open to so many people. And it was like now, and so now hearing you say that, the connectivity makes even more sense, you know?
And the DJ thing.
And the DJ, that's a whole nother level of exhaustion, you know?
Because the DJ thing started in the situation that you was just talking about, that you started this conversation talking about.
With?
The dressing room after the show.
Gotcha. Yeah, no way. Damn.
That's how he started DJing. That's how Ben Trill started. That's how we all started doing it.
And these would be after shows and stuff?
Yeah.
Damn. And it'd be popping, huh?
Yeah.
That's it. But I always, that always stuck with me. Even when you and I stopped doing JSP, and in 15, 16, I was trying to figure out how to get it back. I was just in a very dark place in my life. I haven't, you know, I didn't even have like a lot of lines of communication with close friends of mine, or just in that place. And the one person I hit, I wanted to bring JSP back, Virgil. And he was like, Jimmy, the world needs it. And I was like, yeah, at that point, I haven't seen him, you know, continue to progress, like, and then to even that little bar to me always meant so much. And when times got darker and darker, I always went back to like that text, like, yo, that meant so much to me. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. But
yeah, man, he cool.
Yeah, he cool. So like we were saying, just I'm gonna circle another way real quick. We're talking about skateboarding. We're talking about tiers. We're talking about shoes like the Manhunt Louis Vuitton shoe. And an opportunity presents itself for you get to work with a company like Louis Vuitton to make a shoe.
I didn't work with Louis Vuitton.
You did not?
No.
To contribute?
Nope.
No design?
Kanye worked with Kanye worked with Louis Vuitton.
Well, all right, for me, from the outside looking in, as if there were an idea presented that came from worlds that we grew up in, and the name and the shoe design.
Okay, so all right, so I'll tell you how that.
Please, yeah, because I always loved it. I always fucking wanted that shoe.
I'll tell you how that happened. Okay, so it's not anything like what you just said.
All right, thank you.
Nothing was presented to me like now, all right, so I probably did go to like 2 of the meetings, saw some of the samples, stuff like that. But I remember Ye telling me something like, yo, I found out like how like all the products get their names. He was like, the designer be naming stuff after they friends. like the Christopher bag and the Kelly this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like these the high end brands. Like he was like, oh, that's what he's like. Oh, cause he's like it's different creative direct. Cause like we was learning like how does this fashion world work and stuff, right? So it's like it's always the different creative director every few years, right? So those creative directors name things after their friends or after their pet or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember he was just like, oh, okay, yeah, like that's what I'm gonna do. Like he said something like that or whatever, right? But just was like vague with it, right? And then I remember the day the price list came out. So it was like it was product shots of them and they had like the prices on them, right? So the prices came out and everybody was like, oh my God. Like you remember when those prices came out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that shook the world. Cause those was like Flight Club prices, but for retail.
At retail, exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I don't even think I had seen all of like what I think that was the first time I had saw what shoes made it.
Gotcha.
Kind of like what songs made the album, right? So like what shoes made the collection, right? Because he had, they had, it's like, it's a bunch of pictures of like that process and different stuff that they was doing. So I remember the day that stuff came out, like he called me like super early in the morning, was like, yo, did you see the prices? You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Did I see the prices?
But this is just all like, cause Ye is like that with his like his friends and stuff. He's very like surprise you. Yeah. Like he be on that type of stuff, right? So he's like, yo, did you see the prices or whatever? And so that's when I saw the names of the shoes, right? And it was just like, oh. He was like, oh, you didn't see that? You didn't know that? You know what I'm saying? So no, I ain't had nothing to do with it. It was a complete surprise.
Gotcha.
Like he surprised all of us with the names.
As for years from the outside,
shoes.
as just an audience member, I'm like, oh, that's Jasper all day.
Right, but it looked like an airwalk. It was like he knew like the Don is a Jordan 4.
Yeah.
Like the wings and all that is really a Jordan 4. Don is Don is one of the most influential guys in style coming from Chicago in the world. Like, so it's like, so he named like the Jordan 4 type joint after Don. I had the like skate shoe one. Mr. Hudson had the boat shoe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like the little kind of like that was like cold. Like that was like,
man, that was one of the coldest moves ever. Yeah. Yo. And I don't know a Louis Vuitton sales associate. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to buy Louis stuff at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, they was talking shit, bro.
Like, I was like,
bro, the Louis people, I mean, they wasn't talking shit, but they was just like, it sound like talking shit. You know what I'm saying? But they was just talking about like how they do it at Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? And it because we was talking to him about the prices. Like Don was like a little nervous. And they was like, Don, do not worry.
Yeah. Dude, I was shell shocked when I seen the prices, but
sold out in 2 weeks though.
Yo, it just was so far ahead of, no one was even ready for that when it came out. Like that move was so far ahead of the game. And it's still like when I don't know, when I look at, whether it's Dior with the SLB looking shoe or even the Kenzo with the Jason Lee one.
No, that started, I think that started the all right, so Marc Jacobs, what Marc Jacobs was doing, because Marc Jacobs brought in Takashi Murakami and Ye. Right?
Yep.
So it was all the Murakami bags and the Ye sneakers. That was what Marc Jacobs brought to, and Marc Jacobs brought like American street culture to high fashion. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing, like what me and you got, what we were just talking about with like Chicago and Philly, it's taking street culture and putting it with something else. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you do that, that's always like the secret. I mean, like, look at basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan took street culture when street culture was like really starting to become, you know, like its own thing. He married that with basketball athleticism. You know what I'm saying? So it's like jumping over people with gold chains.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like Fonzie. You got the like black leather jacket coolness of the gold chains and like, but then it's just, you know, like we all watch sports. We all watch like basketball because, man, I wish I was that tall. I wish I could jump over, you know, like it's like super basic, like little kid stuff. Like, I wish I could jump. You know what I'm saying?
Like the flight suit. I think like when I look at the flight suit, I'm like, I don't even think this is supposed to be meant with a shirt underneath it. Just a chain. You know what I'm saying? And a tailored ass pant. You know, like you probably shouldn't even wear a hooping shoe with this thing. It's like, but yeah, no, that shoe always, man. You still have extra pairs left?
I got no. I didn't get no extra pairs. I think they gave me one pair.
Damn.
Yeah.
The black ones?
No, they gave me the pink.
And you had to buy the black?
But you gotta know, Louis sneakers, men's, they're always like a size and a half too big.
This was a roll of the dice on these.
Yeah,
I was like, pray to God they fit when they get here.
What size is that?
I think it's like a 42.
42.
All right. But yeah, no, that was amazing. So thank you.
I got the Lucians. The Lucian.
Oh, those are incredible.
But they too.
Hey. Oh, no way. Damn.
I mean, I still wear them like with some really big double pants.
I sat right the day that the Lucian news came out. I sat right there and I just was like, that was one of them things where I was like, it felt like we all made it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like when they announced Lucian was the first skater on Louis Vuitton, it was like, to me, it just was like, it was such a historical moment, you know, to you know, and that's the thing for Virgil to pull a gentleman like Lucian into that situation was like, I don't know.
But that's the like style thing, because it's like Lucian's on the runway too. Lucian's not only on the Louis runway, like Lucian is on other runways. Yeah. Lucian is the main model in all of the Palace lookbooks. Lucian has a cool style, just
it made sense
on and off the board.
It made sense on so many different ways. But it just, even like seeing their synergy together, it was like a remarkable point of synergy on so many different levels between Virgil, Lucian, Palace, everything they had going on, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, so like the thing that Virgil says about like being a mixer. Like he's like, I'm like a DJ mixer. It's like, mixing all of this stuff together. But, you know, we're hip hop kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think that's something like this generation, this time right now, because hip hop is pop now.
No.
That people don't even know what that mean to be hip hop. Like to be hip hop, like I do all 5 things.
Yeah.
I DJ, I can rap, I can make beats, break dance, graffiti, like, you know, it's like you have to do all of it. Like that's what it means. You know what I'm saying? It's like you actually contribute to the art of it. You practice the art of it. So that's like what we did. Like our whole thing, we were a rap crew. We were a rap crew. You know what I'm saying? And we represented all of those parts of the culture. You know what I'm saying? That KRS-One will tell you about, like the 5 pillars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So But what we brought to the game was the highest level of the style part.
Mm-hmm.
Because Paris is the NBA of clothes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we learn from, you know, our OGs, our uncles who introduced us to it in New York. Dame, Jay, Pharrell, Puff. You know what I'm saying? They introduced us to New York Fashion Week. And then when we got on, because Dame, first time I met Dame, I think I was in London. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the first time, you know, like I was around, I had got flown to London to meet him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and that was like before dude album had ever came out, or like his first album had ever came out or anything. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and that was something that Dame told Ye early when he took him to London, was like, you got the rest of the world. So he knew that mission before his first album. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, so as all of that movement started to grow, we started looking overseas.
Yeah. It was funny. I was like, I remember watching the Netflix documentary. It fucked me up because I was like, it was this crew that was ushering in fashions at like, you know, it was cool at that, you know, I love State Property. I love like this like real grimy street part of hip hop but then the other things that I love, streetwear, skateboarding, are like disconnected. So like, wow, this is a whole crew that's completely bridging, you know, they know what, like, you know, all these underground brands that like you hung your hat on as like a streetwear kid back then. Was like, oh, whoa, we got a crew, we got a rapper that knows what this shit. Most of these rappers don't know what this is, but
well, yeah, you know, Don is 1/4 Japanese.
Yeah, and we didn't know that at the time, so I was like,
yeah,
yo, like this is going to be special because this is a whole new
like me and Don was getting Bapes like before you could buy stuff on the internet. Like I had like hair clients that would go to Japan and get stuff. So I had like the white Bapes with the camo check and the snake, like snakeskin, white and black snakeskin joints. And then like Don had all type of Bape stuff. Don, he was like the main dude selling throwback jerseys. Like Fabulous would come to Chicago to buy jerseys from Don. You know what I'm saying?
Well, speaking of leather brims, snake print, obviously Virgil. One of the coolest moments that I feel like I've got to share with you, and it was just an awesome day. It's one of them days that like I like think about a lot. Was they pulled up the Diamond, the first collection that you released with Nick, the cat with the leather brim. You had the snake print chukka boot with the cuff on it. The T-shirt with the high shoulder hits. You know, I was like, I wore that shit into the ground, all of it, yo. You remember that day, right? And pull up. I feel like I had just shared Stevie's Wheels of Fortune. I remember Virgil being like, I love that the Lord's Underground song that he used, but that was
when like Tyler used to just be hanging out on.
I have a picture of Tyler on that same day, a picture of Tyler and Tebe right outside, just kicking it. You know, that was a special time in Fairfax. Putting that collection out back then, in retrospect, when you look back on it, how does that era, that collection, that partnership with Diamond resonate with you?
I say that working with Ye was, so you remember Ye's blog, Kanye University?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right. So working with Ye is like going to college. Right. So it's like I went to Kanye University. That's the college I went to. And then the graduate school that I went to was Diamond.
Get out of here.
So like your graduate was like, you know, specific.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like my specific training was in skateboard products, which is like casual performance products, right? Because the highest level pro skater wears like regular clothes, like at the Olympics, like he's got on khakis. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like the Olympic uniform is like.
They damn near had like boating uniforms on.
30-year-old basketball shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like just got like regular clothes on and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Diamond is like graduate school, right? So that's because as a skater, you look at the world and everything like through this lens of a skater. Like everything looks like a skate park. Like, oh, I think I can do this off this or whatever, right? And then, so after working at Diamond, it's like I can look at the world because everything is designed. Like everything that you see, it was some choices made by some people.
Yeah.
The curb should be this high and, you know, we should use this paint mixture with this chemical mixture. You know, like everything is a choice, you know, is a bunch of choices that's made. Nothing is just here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, after, you know, learning how to design, because it's like you can like move board and, you know, do all that. But like one thing Virgil taught me, because Virgil is the one that like taught me how to design using the Adobe software, like how to use the software. Like I know you got ideas in here. I'm going to teach you how to get these ideas out of here onto the screen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like once I learned how to do that, it's just like, oh, now I look at the world from a skater's point of view and I know how to create it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From that point of view. I know the dimensions. I know, you know, because as skaters, we know like, I think I need to get a rub brick and some wax and some, like, we know how to like, you know, herky jerk something.
What's a non-skater asks you why, and you're like, because it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does that make sense? Just because it makes goddamn sense, Jerry. Yeah. Like,
that's a skater answer.
Yeah. You wouldn't understand. Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, learning how to do that. It just like, it actually kind of like made me a little bit more religious. Right? Because I was like, oh, God is the greatest designer. And like, I guess a cow only eats grass. It's designed to only eat grass. And this is designed to only eat this. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just like, you should start looking at everything like that. Like, none of this is random. You know what I'm saying?
Did Virgil help you with that diamond collection?
I would say no, but in that environment. So I think I probably, all right. So no, but he taught me how to design. We were all roommates, me, him, Mike Wax and Mike Carson. So Mike Carson does like Drake's stage design for his tours.
This was on the East Coast?
Yeah, this is in New York.
All right. Damn, you guys all had a crib together in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably a fun ass house.
We called it the blog house, like Bauhaus.
No way.
Right? And so this is where all our blogs came from. So
you were doing Ferrari Murakami from there?
So, but this is like when the Tumblr era started. So this is when like Virgil, So Baroque, which became Pyrex Vision, Mike Wax and Mike Carson, which is Ill Roots.
Yep.
Ill America. So they launched Ill America clothing brand. I designed my diamond shoe, and Virgil did Pyrex all out of that.
Get out of here.
Right? But he was teaching me how to use Photoshop at the time. Right? So he would be like, okay, this is the lasso, and this is the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this is the magic wand, and this is this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how you use this or whatever, right? And then he would go, sometimes he would have to go to the studio every day. I would only have to really go to the studio every 3 days for like haircuts and stuff like that, right? So those 2-3 days where I'm not in the studio, I'm just in the apartment, you know, just fiddling with the computer. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about that is like, I looked at it like, you know, like skating taught me how to learn. So I looked at the Photoshop as like, okay, this laptop is a skateboard, and
you gotta do
just like a skateboard. I gotta like, where do you put your feet at? And you know, like, so it's just I'm doing the same thing. Like, what's the shortcut key to this? You know, so it's like the same thing, right? So I remember one time I was like working on something, like we had got this assignment to do some merch or whatever, and then he was like, "Yo, so I seen you getting pretty good, so I'm gonna send you this assignment, right?" And so like, it was the day before that, right? So he's just walking by on his way out. I'm just like working on something. It's like probably around like lunchtime. And then he's like walking out the crib and he's like, "Yo, you just did that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna start sending you assignments." And so then I started start being in the loop of the merch assignments and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just like, when you learn how to like actually do this stuff, man, like it's not magic. It's not a dream. Oh, I'm gonna do my brand and it's a dream. It's not a dream. It's a business.
1000%. It's a business.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, it's cool to be artistic and, you know, like, but it's like, who gonna pay for that?
Yeah.
You gotta recoup your money, you know, like.
Yeah.
So
that's what he said, Jimmy. Only but so many. You get about a half dozen passion projects a year. Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like you gotta be like serious. You know, you gotta like really think about it. But then in skateboarding, what I've learned working in the skateboard industry is like having like going through that looking glass, like walking, like living inside the television and seeing how everything work and everything like that. When you do that, you kind of threatening. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
In the skateboard industry, because the skateboard industry is like the skateboard industry, not skateboard culture. Skateboard culture and skateboard industry is two completely different things, right? So like the skateboard industry is really not about progression. Right? It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because like this is the thing, like what you talking about like us, me and V being in skateboarding. Because it's like we grew up on it, we love it, but we also grew up on hip hop.
Yeah, other things.
And like hustle, being a hustler, like, you know what I'm saying? Being a mover and a shaker, being the guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the skateboard industry is kind of spooked to that. Yeah. Cause it's kind of like a little pimpish a little bit. It's like,
no, 1000. I mean,
it's like, we don't really want these kids to know, you know, like, don't be a kook and ask about money. Like, what? Like, what you mean?
Tim O'Connor came up with the best term for the way that skaters are treated as disposable heroes. Because you get your 3 to 5 years if you're lucky to have that window of shine, and then it's next. You get injured. Right. There ain't no, what did Beanie say? Ain't no union, no dental plan. Can't eat off no $100,000. You know, if you made $100,000 skating, God bless you. You know, they definitely didn't tell you had to pay taxes on that $100,000 either. So,
I mean, they not supposed to. Yeah. Ain't nobody's, the people that pay you ain't supposed to be telling you what to do with your money. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be an adult.
A kid, skate. That's what I love about skate. It's just buying time. It's like going. It's like kind of going to.
Professional means you're good enough for someone to pay you to do it. When you're a professional, that's adult responsibility. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
You're on your own.
Like, hey, if you kickflip some stairs and you Wilson, it's because you was leaning back too far. Yeah. Like, it's on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on you. It's your fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? You lean back too far. Like, you didn't pay your taxes. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true. Taxes.
You know what I'm saying?
I try to pay them as early as possible.
I don't like it.
Nah, hell no.
I just put myself on payroll.
Yeah.
Like it just get taken out. Like,
Yeah,
you know
so
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah. But going back, you remember how special that diamond collection felt. That very first one. Something about them chest hits high up on it was almost like where you put like a captain's patch at, you know.
It was just Givenchy, fam.
I loved it.
We was kicking it with we was working with Ricardo at the time. Cause that was like Throne era.
Yeah, it was Throne era, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we was like working with dude. Like dude would be at the studio.
Yeah.
And, you know. So
it definitely had that feel, but it felt.
But that was the synergy that we had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like even the shoe, right? So I dropped the diamond shoe at the same time. So the diamond shoe is suede snakeskin.
Yep.
I dropped that at the same time that Don dropped the Just Don hats.
Oh, get out of here.
Which was snakeskin.
Yeah.
Which dropped at the same time as the Air Yeezy 2, which was snakeskin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me? It's like we had like this synergy, you know what I'm saying? And being able to hit like I got the skateboard world. Yeah. I got this. Okay, we snakeskin, bet. Oh, break snakeskin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, yeah.
That is.
Because like that was what was in that original Donda chart type thing that dude put out.
Gotcha.
That's how they do it.
Mm-hmm. But that was an awesome day though, man. I look at them pictures a lot and just like, I don't know. You could just feel how special it was, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, I look at that because I remember I was told Taco one time. I was like, man, Taco, I was like, y'all crew, my favorite crew. I like y'all crew more than my own crew.
Yeah.
Because like our Future, like them dudes, because Virgil's the only one in my crew that I could talk to about like where I can use skateboard analogies and he understands them. You know what I'm saying? Like Don's like my brother, but he don't know what Tom Penny, he doesn't know. He don't know none of that. You know what I'm saying?
But those kids though, So I remember
I'm like an uncle. Like I be looking at them like an uncle. Like every time I see, I just feel like
it's crazy. Yo. I swear to God, I shit you not, man. When Diamond had the little store one block up, I'm sitting there at the cash register. You know how them kids were? They just skate up and down the street. And I swear on my daughter's life, Tyler comes in,
knocking on them, just be
sits in the chair. Can you give my music to Pharrell? And I said, absolutely not. Because I didn't have that. My relationship with him wasn't that, you know? And I always felt terrible. Cause I'm like, he's a good kid. Like I should, as a good big homie.
So how do you feel now seeing like their relationship?
Oh, it's incredible. Yo, it's so rad. It's like, and you know, Tyler has done an amazing job over the years of, you know, being crystal clear how inspired he is by, you know, and always was by Pharrell, you know? So, yeah, no, it's like, it's amazing, yo. Yeah. But yeah, I always felt terrible. I was like, damn, I hope he don't sit with that. Like, yeah, he didn't give a fuck. You know, he was always on to, you know, on some shit. So
you was holding them back from Godfather P, man.
Yeah. But I just, you know, I always respected my relationship with Pharrell in regards to where it came into play. Even if he would have me at the studio kicking it with them, it's like, you know, I wouldn't try to be that guy up and look, you guys just do the music. I do the skateboard and stuff over here. I'm glad to be kicking it with y'all, and if I can present some sort of energy.
Nah, but P ain't like that.
You know,
P ain't like that. Like P be wanting like feedback and you know, because like P is a master, so he, you know, he's not. Oh, I don't know if this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He like whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There was a good amount of time though. I would be down in Miami and I'd just be sitting. That was cool to sit in to listen to him and Juvenile make a song or him and Robin.
Do you like know what he's doing?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
Nah. Yeah. And I was just observing because I was so far removed from.
Have you ever made beats?
Nah, not at all.
What?
No, never. Yeah, nah. Music to me, and, like
DJ?
even the song.
Never DJ?
Nah, never.
What?
Yeah. Even like the songwriting process, like I don't know. To me, it's like I don't know. This shit could be. It's like studying architectural design or something, It's like it seems so unfathomable to me, but I really respect how it's done and appreciate it.
You don't know architectural design?
Nah, unfortunately not. Nah. But just to sit in there,
you
like,
didn't understand my Bauhaus reference. I said before we
I'd act like I did though. But just to be there. I like seeing how people go about processes though. So like to observe that from afar has always been a cool thing to me. You got to go?
1 second, yeah. All right, let me send Brandon out real quick. I'll be right back.
So this guy's had work to do the whole season.
It's funny. I started learning how to make beats again and stuff on Fruity Loops. I wanted to learn because I could, I learned ASR 10, chord, keyboards, MPCs. All that late 90s, early 2000s stuff, right? So after I got off Cuddy's tour, I was like, man, I want to learn the new software and how to make trap beats and stuff, because I know how to make boom bap beats.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how to make the new style beats and stuff. So I got Fruity Loops and just I saw Hit Boy too. I was like, man, I'm gonna start making beats again and stuff because Hit Boy is the Fruity Loops master. He's the master of Fruity Loops shit, right? So so I'm learning how to do it, and I didn't know that it actually teaches you music theory.
Oh, get out of here!
So when I was making beats back then, I didn't know how to play stuff. But now I'm oh, this is the missing link to what I needed to learn how to do. And but when as I'm learning this, all I'm hearing is all this stuff Pharrell used to say. Not used to say, but stuff he said back in the day from just being in sessions with dude or just all the stuff about minor sevenths and minor, and all this stuff. I'm oh, that's what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
There is, especially towards that early 2000s period, is that the science that he had perfected from the production standpoint to the way you can obviously tell which hooks he wrote specifically, and it wouldn't have worked without someone else singing them. You know what I'm saying? It's his chords and tunes and his vocals were it's just musically very beautiful. You know what I'm saying? As the composition as a whole. But my man's definitely a scientist.
You like me though. You have a similar situation to me of kind of home base being an extremely spoiled situation in that field.
Oh yeah. Now and it's
because
funny.
I know you've been in the studio with other people and you be like,
oh yeah. No, this is not, for sure, 1,000%.
And you don't know what to say.
Yeah,
because you're just
I just play.
It don't sound. Yeah, I know it's not supposed to go like that.
Yeah,
but
I just fall back. Yeah. That's funny, man. I definitely though especially through Devin stuff, through all her music shit, was really got to learn the process of songwriting and more, less on the production side, but more the songwriting side. And that was definitely eye opening to me. Cause I feel every time I've been there with Pharrell was he's not sitting there coming up with melodies and stuff,
it's all downhill from it's all downhill from that.
That's so true.
Yeah, I mean he was coming up with that stuff I had a situation Cuddy did that 2 weeks ago in London. Did this, came up, played this beat once, played it again, Came up with the flow in like 3 seconds on like the second time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he came up with like a verse, like half a verse the third time he played it. And then like recorded a verse like the fourth or fifth time he played the beat. And I was like, bro, you came up, like I watched him come up with like the song, like the main flow, what the song is gonna be about.
Yeah.
In 3 seconds.
Just like that. Has that song come out yet?
And then it's like, yeah, Kid Cudi, one of the greatest songwriters of the modern era. You know, like you see, you know, I've seen Ye do stuff like Ye did Otis, made the beat in like 8 minutes or something like that. You know, smash hit records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
that's a trip. I'm trying to think. I remember sitting there. I want to say this is like around time. When did Grammy Family come out?
oh shit, I don't know. Like
07?
Yeah, I guess.
Because I remember sitting there.
Second album?
Yeah, I feel like, which is like when I think about like the ice cream in the Pharrell camp, and I think about you and your crew, I remember sitting there this is probably like Crimson or one of these clubs. And I feel like it was around the time of the Grammy. And I just remember sitting there like, and for whatever reason, I just went over to Don, introduced myself, whoop-de-whoop, ice cream, Pharrell skate, and the like just the what was super cool was like the instant level of respect and just that. It wasn't OD, but it was like, I don't know.
Oh, fam, we was Neptune's head.
Yeah,
bro. Like, we was Neptune's head, especially Don. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta remember, like Don and Manop, they was the top party promoters in Chicago. They was the top hip hop party promoters. So like Neptune's was like, you know, from 2:30 to 3:30. It's Neptune's production. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray J and Lil Kim.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, bro, like the Neptune's era, bro. Like, come on, bro.
But I just remember like, cause we were all such fans of what y'all had going on, and it was like, wow, we got, you know, we're a little skate team. Like, I don't know whose radar this is even on, you know. So when we did the
skateboarders have a self-esteem problem.
We do. You've always said that. But that's why when we did when I did the JSP ice cream project and I had asked you to jump in to shoot the photos for me, I mean, that was such an honor that you would give me that day, your time. And then to hear throughout the course of that afternoon, you just sharing, you know, how, you know, awesome you thought what we had going on was. That was cool. That was a real full circle moment, yo. So I appreciate that.
For sure.
It was interesting. It was fun. Thank you, brother.
That sweet ass fucking ice cups. Shit was
Happy
sugary.
ice.
That was when I first stopped eating sugar. That shit was like, whoa.
Incredible, yeah. And he's crushing it too.
I was like,
he got a setup in Disney. He got a couple different storefronts now. So but thank you for doing that, yo. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on here. I was just in Chicago a couple weeks ago.
How was it?
Amazing.
Did you get shot?
Did not get shot. Thank God. That you know, that's
Did you get fat?
I definitely got fat. Yeah, hell yeah. Yep. Came back 10 pounds heavier. But it was good though. We stayed up by like 2 or 3 blocks from where.
What hotel was you at?
Close to where where the Bears play at.
Soldier Field?
Yep.
So downtown?
I didn't think it was downtown.
South Loop?
Close to South Loop, yeah. Yeah. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Food was good. Definitely put on a lot of weight. But it made it back safe. That's what I say. It feels just like Philly to me.
Yeah. It is. Motherfuckers is like rude.
Yeah.
But like not arrogant rude.
Yeah.
Overweight.
Overweight, yeah.
Good-hearted though. Solid. Really good linings.
Mm-hmm.
Crispy linings.
Great barbers.
Yeah.
Was it fun growing up skating there?
I mean, yeah. Chicago, downtown on Sundays back then. So CTA, you get a super transfer. So you get a transfer, but it was unlimited. So like all the skaters would go downtown because all of the like government buildings, all that stuff was closed. And then we had a super transfer. We just go all over the place, all over downtown. So I learned downtown Chicago on a skateboard before I ever drove.
The spot with the Picasso statue, that wasn't even there yet at that point, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's way before that.
Yeah, that
gotcha.
Been there. Yeah, that was always a skate spot. Staten Lake, that was a skate spot. The Hips, which is like down by like Michigan and Wacker.
Mm-hmm.
That's a spot. Jerron got a really dope photo at that spot. And Kalis got some footage there.
That one Art Institute bench that he back nose blunted a long time ago, and I want to say Transmission 7, that ledge looks incredible.
Them like gray marble benches. They kind of look like the Love Park ones kind of.
Yeah, they're low though. Them ones.
Yeah.
I think kids were skating it recently.
Nobody ever skates at the Sears Tower Bank though.
Which one is that?
Or the Willis Tower. It's under the Willis Tower.
Oh, get out of here.
I used to skate it all the time, and I've probably seen it like in one video in like the 80s or something like that. But like this is like in like the Jesse Newhouse.
I was about to ask you.
Era.
That was always, when I'm reading the mags growing up, that was always the name that stood out to me, was Jesse Newhouse. I remember having a picture of him, that same Kalis bench, he had a picture, frontside blunt sliding it. For you growing up, who was the one skater? Like, who was your favorite Chicago skater? It didn't even have to be somebody nobody even knew.
Favorite Chicago skater? Probably Stevie Dread.
Stevie Dread.
Like Stevie Dread. But it was dudes like, I forgot their names and stuff like that. But it was like, I used to always skate with the twins. Oh, Mfon. So it was one of my friends, his name was Mfon Akpan, right? He got sponsored by Dogtown. And this is like when Karma Sochev was just like the starting of the modern Dogtown, like 1990.
Uh-huh.
Right? So he got sponsored by them. And I ended up getting on Flow from Dogtown. They would put like 2 extra decks in his box for me.
Oh, that's sick.
Cause I like showed up to a couple demos with him. But like he could like almost ollie on this table and stuff like that. He could like ollie like crazy. And it's funny, we was on tour in Europe. We was in Sweden, right? We was at this party. I think it was like me and Dom. It was like, just went out. We was at some party. And then I'm chilling in the party. And I'm looking at this dude and I'm like, and I walked up to him like, Mfon? And he was like, Ivan? And I'm like, bro, I'm all the way in Sweden, bro.
What took him there?
He's like, oh man, I went to school. I think he started doing like architecture and stuff like that. And, ended up getting a job at some firm in Sweden.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just and that was like 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that. I hadn't seen him since for that long.
No way. And he was that dude.
But he's probably like my favorite. Cause like he was like, I am. Like he was like, not a full am, but he was sponsored. Yeah. Like he was officially sponsored. And he was really good. And he lived around me. He lived on the south side.
Gotcha.
So like I could just like, he didn't live that far from me and stuff. So I could like go hang out with him. And he was just like cool. He kind of like cause I quit for like a long time. And then I started back when I moved here. And that's when I learned about like Keenan. And Mfon was kind of like Keenan Milton.
Gotcha.
Like he was like kind of had that type of person.
What year did you move here for good?
04.
Gotcha. And then that's when you picked the board back up?
Yeah, maybe like 05, 06.
Gotcha. It's funny. We always had that break. Like, you know, I remember after ice cream, I probably didn't pick a board up from 2011 to like damn near like the pandemic. You know, 2012, 2020.
My situation, I just grew up.
Yeah.
Like I quit when I was like 15.
Yeah.
I started cutting hair. It was like, oh, I need like Air Maxes. I like girls now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but when you did pick the board back up, did it feel like you had a clean slate in terms of like your approach and trick capability and stuff? Or did it feel exactly how it did when you stopped skating?
Well, I was a man. So, like, you saw that footage of me ollie in the shopping cart?
Yeah, yeah.
I did that because I was like, oh, I never skated like with like adult legs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like really skating like heavy when I was like 14, 13. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even developed as a person.
Yeah.
Like physiologically yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, let me just see how high I ollie. Like,
sure enough.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay, I can ollie over a fucking shopping cart now.
You skate a skinny board now or a wide board?
My shit be like 8, 1, 2, 5, 9.
God, yeah. That's what I trip about skating, man. It's like, to me, 8 was always way too wide.
Bro,
Yeah.
them tray flips, bro. that back scoop, and this is, bro.
It's easier for you to tray flip on a wider board.
This particular subject right here is what I would be on Virgil head on every day. This dude was always, yo, Ivan, bro, come help me learn how to do a tray flip, bro. Like, did you see the thing where he had Eric Costin teaching him how to do a tray flip at a conference? Like, you know what I'm saying? I hit him. I was like, bro, thank you for, like, this dude gets on my nerves. Like, he can't do it. And he just won't put his back foot on the board.
Damn.
He'll flip it and, you know, do that.
That's funny.
I'm like, bro, put your back foot on there. Like, what are you doing?
I get it though. I just learned how to tray flip like literally within the last like 6 months. I swear to God, yo. For whatever reasons, they never felt comfortable. And then I trapped myself into school. I'm like, you're not leaving this fucking school until you figure out tray flips. And sure enough, that day, I fell a gang. I was like falling just on blacktop trying to do a tray flip.
Trick tip videos. Because trick tip sequences... Trick tip videos, bro. I didn't even know that the tray flip was in your back foot.
Mm-hmm.
My whole childhood,
think it was in the front foot.
I'm trying to flick the boy around with the front foot. Nope. I saw this Danny Way tray flip. He was like, yeah, and I was like, what? I went out there the first time. I was like, and it just went around. I was like,
I think for me, like by the time I started coming around all the guys that were real good, like I would be too embarrassed to try to learn the tricks around them that like needed development. Like where I was like, I'm just gonna do the stuff that I know I'm comfortable with, and then figure out the other shit later.
I'm not like that. It's funny. I was like talking to my mom like about this like confidence, right? And because I was just like, Mom, like. I was like, I'll be around like all these people. They just be like pressed, and I just don't be pressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is it? Because I was like, you know, because I could do like backflips. I don't even remember being alive and
just straight back, like
I don't even remember being alive and not being able to do them.
Damn.
That's how long ago. I think she told me I learned them when I was like 3 or 4.
Get the fuck out of here.
So like,
I'd have broke my neck.
You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, like what you was talking about, because I came up as a gymnast first. Skateboarding to me is just another part of gymnastics.
Gotcha.
right? Because I was on some like I went to Olympic gymnast camp and, like I could do double backflips and giant swings on high bars and all that type of stuff when I was like 8, 9 years old. Like I could do that. So, and gymnastics is a way more extreme version of skateboarding.
Gymnastics is sketchy, yo.
Because you're not making the board flip. You are the board that's flipping.
Yeah, and you're landing back on this beam. You know what I'm saying?
So slamming, like how we learn through slamming, learn how not to slam, they do it on a whole other level. Yeah. So it's like you can't even do anything, you know what I'm saying, if you're not like falling. You know what I'm saying? So like with skateboarding, like skateboarding teaches you that, but I learned that before I even got into skateboarding.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because like skaters, because I look at it like with my profession being getting celebrities ready for red carpet events and stuff like that, right? The most terrifying thing for them is like falling on the red carpet. Yeah. And I'm just always laughing because I'm like,
can't walk.
But like falling down, falling down on the ground is like scared. You're scared of that. Like,
that's so funny.
Like, you should learn how to skateboard. Like you won't be scared of that no more. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So you got a new hobby, a new craft.
Yeah.
Similar to skating to a certain degree.
Well, it's
still in the streets.
It's checking all of the X Games activity boxes.
Which is?
Because I'm an X Games nigga.
I like that.
I ain't a regular nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm an X Games type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So grew up BMXing and skating. Learned how to snowboard last year. Now I'm
funnest shit ever, right?
Yes.
Funnest shit ever in the world. Yeah. I literally just bought 2 new pairs of snowboard boots this morning. For what reason?
It's the best. It's the best. And snowboard boots and motocross boots are very similar.
You know what I got?
Because I just got some motocross boots.
I got the Air Force One Nike snowboards.
You do?
The olive ones that are like the Jordan 9 colorway. Oh. And then I got a pair of New Balance 686, which is like it has like the roll bar outsole and everything on it. I didn't even know. I'm learning all this shit. I keep hitting Russell. I'm bugging the shit out of him. He's like, dude, stop hitting me about this stuff. Like,
you don't really need to like go in. You just need like soft boots and rigid boots.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you don't really need like a lot of stuff because it's like you can lose yourself because I even had to do that with my new activity. I had to just focus on supermoto. Supermoto, and like learn the basics of everything and get comfortable on the bike and everything.
It has a clutch and all?
No.
All right.
It's electric.
Gotcha.
Saran.
It looks sick though. It looks equally as sketchy
it's
though.
Fun. So the snowboarding and the motocross is just like the 2 funnest fucking things in the world, and like extremely fun, exhilarating, extremely terrifying.
Yeah.
Like terrifying. Like you could die doing both of them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like this is the thing I figured out, like, cause like we're working in like entertainment and fashion and all this type of shit. Like, cause I remember Cuddy asked me one time, he was like, man, don't you be like excited about when your designs come by? I'm like, no. Like I'd be excited sliding down an icy mountain going 30 miles an hour. Yeah. Like that's exciting. You know what I'm saying? But like, if they sending me a sample, I'm looking for what's wrong because I actually know how to design it.
Yeah. I think with design and stuff, to me the most exciting part is like the earliest stages of it when you just start thinking about what something could be, and then from there, like you said, it's all downhill.
No, it's like I came up with this. I got this new thing I just whipped up yesterday for this new vehicle category. Cause like, did you see that post that I did about stuff that I could design or whatever?
No, but I'm gonna look at it as soon as we wrap up.
So I did like this post about like designing stuff, and I don't think that they saw, because I showed like some of my designs, right? But I don't think that they didn't peep that none of it was clothing or shoes.
Just because that generally, like that, you feel like the natural idea for them would be to mentally go to that place with it.
Yeah, because that's how people see, because people see you like, they see you, because like I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not an influencer, right? I've been, like I said, like I've been.
That's the humble you saying that.
No. No, that's actually the arrogant, not arrogant, but that's the flex. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here for your amusement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a man that should be respected first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a professional. That's what I am. I'm not no entertainer or no celebrity or no influencer. I'm a professional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A 30-year professional.
Well, that's what I trip. Every time I'm able to get together with you or we sit and rap, I'm like, it don't matter whether it's skate, whether it's the sneaker design, something. I always learn something from you, and I always come out of each of these interactions damn near smarter and more blown away by like that. Like I said, the pool of wealth that you have in so many of these different fields and topics. So,
yeah. And I mean, I said that like that because it's like, I've been around so many celebrities and these entertainers. Well, they wouldn't be shit without professionals. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Without their professional choreographer, their professional hairstylist, their professional dermatologist, their professional, you know.
I mean, physically and mentally, it's only so much that like a human can do, you know.
And I'm not shitting on celebrities and stuff like that. What I'm saying is I'm not that.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not that. And it's like, and what I peeped in this, what social media has done is it's like kind of skewed and screwed up the respect for the professional.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said before, when we first started talking, it's like people can have talent, but it's like, do you know how to execute, you know, in this format for this industry?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a testament as to why it was even so hard to get the schedule of today's date is like, you're still moving. You're still on a plane how many times a week?
Well, just this last project once a week.
How many times you been in London the past month?
Like 4. Yeah.
So it's a testimony to your dedication and respect to all.
I love the game. So I love the game. I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. I love the game, like, cause I grew up Chicago in the Jordan era. Jordan had the love of the game clause in his contract, so he could like hoop anywhere he wanted to, you know. So that's why you hear all these stories about him. Oh, Jordan had pickup games at the movie set, and Jordan had, you know, because it's the love of the game, right? So my thing is like I love this shit, like Mitch in motherfucking Paid in Full, like I just love it, like you know what I'm saying. But it's like I love the game. I'm not doing it for like, you know, like what you were saying about being nervous about the tricks. That's why I'm not nervous, because I just love the game. Right. You know, I'm not. It's not about me. It's about the game. I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, Jerry?
Like, I'm going to win. So what's known need not be said.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk about that. I don't have to, like, you know, it's like Jordan, they interviewed Jordan early in his career. And they were like, yeah, you know, you averaged 32 points and, you know, and he was like, yeah, you know, it's just 8 points a quarter. So I just have to make 4 shots a quarter.
Broke it down.
You know, so it's like, oh my God, it's, you know, like, but it's just like, no, it's just like a super easy like way to do this stuff. And you just figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Well, I feel like that's the perfect point to end this segment on. Just to break it down in the simplest of science and math. Ivan, thank you so much, yo. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you,
sir. It's hard because it's like, yo, there's so many. I mean, I've had the honor to be friends for so many years now, and to watch you to do so much yourself, to have your fingerprints on so many different things, to continuously be learning from you, and to share this afternoon for our last segment. It means a lot, man. I know you got a busy ass schedule, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I gotta go ride my bike.
Thank you to everybody that joined us for this first episode.
I gotta learn how
first season.
I know.
I gotta learn how to counter steer.
2013.
So Ivan's gonna go learn how to counter steer. I'm gonna go probably play softball with my kids. So thank you guys. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Ivan.